Hello YouTube. Welcome back to Old Man Building an Airplane. After the last screw up on the J-channel stiffeners in the spar, I decided, well actually I took a suggestion from someone over in the Slack group, Alan, pretty nice guy, to work on some fiberglass instead. And smart man. Fiberglass is just a completely different set of skills, and you're doing a lot of base, like, I don't know if I'd call it fabrication, because you're kind of working with what was given to you. I guess in this case we're modifying the piece that Vans sent me, and or if you're talking about all builders, we are all modifying these pieces that Van sends to all of us to fit the metalwork that you personally have done. So these are just aerodynamic fairings. They are technically not required, but they look nice and they're going to smooth out the flow of air around things. So one issue with fiberglass, obviously, you can see me wearing that silly mask and glasses. The dust gets everywhere. And the fact that I even took it off right here is kind of like, I look at it like, was that really the smartest thing to do? Yeah. The dust had kind of settled, but still I could smell it in the air. So anyway, yeah, on the rudder, we're going to be working on both the top and the bottom aerodynamic fairing. The bottom is a little bit more complicated because it's got the beacon strobe light. Actually, I think it's position and strobe light on the, you can kind of see it there right in the middle of the screen. But the top one's pretty simple. It's the first one I decided to do. I'm also going through, and so we match drilled it to the top of the rudder, and then what I'm doing here is, I thought I could had some longer strips of aluminum, but I didn't have one long enough for the entire piece. What I'm doing is I'm creating some backers, I guess is the best way to put it, for the rivets. So this just gets pop riveted in place with some, like, I don't know, some CS4-4s or something like that. Basically non-structural flush mount pop rivets. And they go and they clamp onto the fiberglass, and that's just dandy. But I decided that I thought it was better to have just a little additional insurance that they could clamp. So I just cut up those little strips of aluminum and used some, as you saw, flocks and epoxy to just sort of make a nice goopy, sticky stuff, I guess. And I stuck those over each of the holes, and now I'm going back and drilling out those holes. Now, what I should have done is exactly what I have done here, is just use the 3M VHB tape instead of trying to epoxy those things in, because once the rivet goes through, they're set. It doesn't matter. So epoxying them in place was just kind of like the default mindset, because you use a resin anytime you're working with fiberglass. But the VHB tape would have worked really well, and I'm probably going to do that in future work on, you know, if I want to put some sort of backer plates on. So I'm just dimpling the holes that we made in the rudder, or in the top of the rudder, and then I believe it's just going to be, yeah, just cleco it in place and put the rivets in. So the top one is done in, one video's length of time. Come on back tomorrow or the next day whenever I publish it for the bottom fairing. It'll be a couple more days. See you later.